What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 20th episode of the Swagcast. Thank you for putting up with me for 20 weeks. Today we have the first repeat offender on the Swagcast. Someone who has since hit many milestones. Wulfpaq. What's going on, Wolf?
That was crazy.
I've been waiting 6 hours to say that.
That was insane. The repeat offender.
Yeah, you're the first one. You're the first.
I'll take it. Not the worst title I've ever been given.
On twice. Repeat offender. What's wrong?
I'm glad to be back, man. I don't know if I'm glad to be a repeat offender, but I'm glad to be back.
Well, I'm happy you're here. Because last time you were here, there was a lot that it was a long time ago. There was a lot that was like 19 weeks ago. There was a lot that was going on that was much different than now. For example, WWE 2K24 wasn't out, and that's the game that I don't know if you said it on that podcast, but you had told me a bunch like I'm gonna do big things when this game has come out, and you did. Can you kind of go into that a little bit? You hit massive milestones. You surpassed 20K followers on TikTok.
I did do that. I did. I called my shot. I told a lot of people that I have what it takes to be at the top of any community. If I get my hands on a community, I'm gonna rise to the top of it. It's just not much anybody can do to stop me. And people think that is cockiness, but I just know my worth. I know that I'm able to do it. So, UFC nosedove, however you say it. It didn't do good, and a lot of people were banking on that being their saving grace. I realized very quickly that UFC 5 wasn't going to be the thing that got me to where I wanted to be. So I found something else that I loved. I went over there. I was like, hey, let me try this out. And once I realized that, of course, it's a game that I'm good at, one, and two, it's something I'm passionate for. Like, I love professional wrestling. It's one of the things that has made me who I am today because of the amount of characters and the amount of stories that have taken place. It's really opened up the lane for me to have such a wild imagination, and it's made me as creative as I am today. It's one of the reasons why I'm able to capture audiences the way that I can. On top of that, I saw how well it was doing before WWE 24 came out. So even though this game still has its problems, it's still a sack of shit when it comes to the online mode. And that's part to the people who are at the top, not the top, but the game testers, I'll call them. The next makers, I guess you would say, for 2K. They haven't advocated for people like us, the people that like to play online and have fun on there. The in my opinion, in 2024, the biggest part of your game, if it's not a story game, the biggest part of your game is online. There's just no way in 2024 with hundreds of millions of online gameplay users that you're not going to have a working, functioning online game mode. It's just not possible to do unless it's a story game like God of War or something like that. And because of that, I feel like that has really held back people in the community from catapulting to where it would be millions of followers. Like somebody like Roy, he has 100,000. I think he's getting close to 2. And I feel like if the game's lobbies worked better, me and him, we'd be doing way better on this game because we wouldn't have to deal with 30 minutes in between matches played and shit like that. But
well, yeah, Roy.
No, man, the game's just great.
Shout out Roy Season. Roy was telling me last episode that Roy he has like ways to like try to avoid it, because sometimes it's not the server, it's just you desync out of certain games because certain things are done. And that was news to me. I didn't know that. So I've been like really being careful about certain things I do in matches now too online, and I've been doing okay. But sometimes the servers are just cooked. You can't connect to games at all. And I've done a bunch of content on this. The online servers are horrible, and it's like, because they're mostly focused on Universe and my GM and my faction, because my faction's a money pit for no reason. Um, and it does. And they do know about it. They know it's a problem. Just they haven't focused on it.
And they're not going to. They're never going to. And my thing about that, because I've heard that said before, imagine, right, in as bad as it is, imagine they came out and they said, yeah, in UFC 5, sometimes in the lobbies, like if you clinch, the lobby will crash. You would be like, what? Like I can't use a whole portion of the game. Can't use the clinch because if I try to, it might lag out. Like I'm
Yeah,
really not allowed to do that. Like you can't throw leg kicks because the game might like. That's stupid. You cut off a whole option for me. Like in this game, you only have three things you can do when you grab somebody: square, X, and circle. I mean, you could carry them too, but you know, the main moves would be square, X, and circle. I can't hit circle because if I do, the game might crash. That's dumb to me. And there should, like, it's been like that. This would be a good excuse if it was like this year, like 2024 was the only time this was happening. This has been happening since 2020. They took a year off to fix the game. They came back, and it's still an issue. This has been 4 straight years where this game has had this issue, and nobody's done anything to fix it. Now, granted, they've added a lot to make up for it in the offline modes, but then they decide to go and do stupid shit like ban somebody like What's the Status for making the game better. They just don't have people up there in their ears that are honest enough and intelligent enough to reciprocate these things that the community is feeling. A lot of people get those positions and they just want to keep it, so they'll think that, oh, if I say nice things, like if I come across as a nice guy, they'll will build a nice relationship. Whereas other people, like me, I like to believe, I would tell them, listen, this is what's happening. People are not happy with it. We need to fix it. And I don't care if you tell me, well, yeah, we're looking into that. The next time we talk, I'm going to bring it up again. And then the next time we talk, I'm going to keep bringing it up, and I'm going to stop bringing up other issues until you focus on this main issue that we're having. People don't want to do that. They don't want to seem annoying. They don't want to step on anybody's toes. They just want to, it's happening in Undisputed right now. I can't talk about it, but uh, the testers are doing the same thing. They just people don't want to step on toes, so they
hold that thought.
just
Hold that thought. Ready. You and JMMA with the I can't talk about what's going on with Undisputed. No. This the swag cast. Screw that NDA, baby. Break that shit.
I didn't sign it, right? So I would have no problem talking about it if it wasn't for those guys. The other guys that are I haven't I can say they haven't broken it to me, but I can also say that I've gotten information from other people regarding what's going on inside that Discord. So that's not really NDA breaking. Like I can talk about that, but like the gameplay and stuff like that, I can't talk about that because a lot of stuff I'm not even supposed to know. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I
um,
many people are excited for that game though, nevertheless. But
and you
continue on what
should
you were
be.
saying.
You should definitely be excited for it. It's just there's got to be change in this gaming community, in these sports games specifically, because you see it in every sports game. The people that are in these positions of next maker, game changer, game tester, etc., they don't do what needs to be done, and they acquire egos in that time too because they're working with the game developers. And it's not, I'm not even calling anybody out like you would expect me to be doing, because it's in all three communities. It's literally, that's what happens. They get these positions, they don't want to lose them, so they become real nice guys with those guys, and they don't step on anybody's toes. They don't badger these people. It'd be like, the way that I see it is like if you go into a restaurant and you order something and it's made incorrectly, and then the next time you come back you get it and it's made incorrectly, and you keep doing that over and over and over, and it's just made incorrectly every time. You keep saying, oh, well, I asked this not to be made this way, and they're just like, yeah, we're working on it, we'll try to get it right next time, and they keep messing it up. It's like, dog, you're not just gonna keep messing my food up, bro. Like, fix my food. It's not, I tell you every time, this is what needs to happen. A certain person, like, they make the jokes that your girlfriend will, like, speak up even though it's not that big of a deal. That's kind of what's, like, what we need. Somebody that's like the girlfriend, proverbial, obviously, like, that'll be speaking up, like, dog, fix this shit. Like, this isn't just a small problem. We're not just gonna let this shit slide. Fix this shit. Like, this needs to be fixed. There's nobody like that. There's nobody that, and to credit, the Game Changers had somebody like that, which was Nick. I think his name is Nick TRG. he was the guy that was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna tell you how it is. And of course, they got him gone. So with the game changes, I can see that that's never gonna change. They're always gonna have people in that spot that are yes men and don't want to step on anybody's toes. It's why I don't imagine you'll ever get that spot. But um, in terms of like the next makers and the game testers for Undisputed, they did change their pool a little bit. They excommunicadoed some guys, but it didn't work because there's still yes men over there. In terms of 2K, those guys don't even fucking care. Those guys are more concerned with community creations and universe and my GM and my faction. It's like, dog, we have this entire portion of the game which every casual player is gonna want to play, and you're telling me that you're more focused on whether or not you're fucking your Chris Masters call or your Will Ospreay call has two hair versions. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, focus on the things that is not working right now. Fix that. Then let's move on to this other problem that we're having. Let's move on to this bigger issue of cause and universe mode bugs. But people don't want to do that. I don't get it. Like, your problems versus when you're in that position, it's not about the problems you have. It's about the community's problems. Focus on the community's problems, the bigger picture, not just the problems you're having. That's all.
Yeah, no. I agree with that. The online's cooked. And like they do need to fix it. Also to go back on something you said, like somebody like me would never be in a position like that. I don't want a position like that. However, if Tony Khan, if you're hiring creative, I can come help out. I can put John Moxley on a fire heel storyline where he's just knocking everybody out, flying knees and shit, fireballs,
Crazy.
whole 9 yards. Now, so speaking of creativity, I want to talk about how you stay creative in a one game space where you only currently make content on WWE. How do you stay creative with the one game, especially with the online issues?
It's like film, right? So like if you don't have something, if you feel like you're out, you just create this new. You can take old stories, you can take the old challenges you've done and just give new stories to them. People love stories. So instead of trying to create a new game because a new game isn't going to fix your issues, create a story for people to bite their teeth into. Like, give them a reason to want to watch. I can take my biggest video is the Boogeyman versus Undertaker casket match. I can take that video and I can do it 3 more times and just change the story to it. I can change the two people that are in it, and I can change some of the rules around. I can change just the characters in general. Like I can really, you can take things that have happened and just space them out and tell the story a little differently. Where it's like the challenges in movies, right? They'll take what's a movie series, like a series of movies that you like.
Um,
Just any of them, doesn't matter.
the Rocky movies.
The Rocky movies. So like if you were to blandly describe them, it would be a guy from I'm pretty sure he's from Detroit, right? Or Chicago, one of the
Philly.
two. Philly. I'm stupid. Regardless,
We knew that.
imagine if you take a guy from if you take a guy from Philly, right? It's just this guy from Philly who needs money, so he took this boxing match and got beat up, and you know, it's like if you blandly describe that, it's like yeah, he's just a bum that needed money, so he took a boxing match to get beat up. But if you tell the story, like if you look at the story, you fall in love with Rocky in the first movie. And then you want to see, like, it's like at the end of the movie, you're fucking pulling for him. Like, I really want him to get this out. And unfortunately, it comes short. But now, because he ended up coming short, you now have the possibility for him to come out on top. Because you didn't go that way with the first story. So now you do the second story, and you have a story with him coming out on top. Sort of. Then you do the third movie, which a lot of people don't really like, I guess. But you come out with another when you don't have the angle. Like this is what they did masterfully. He lost in the first one, so the second one he comes back and now he doesn't lose, kind of. And then the third one he comes out. Now you can't do the win or loss because he's done both. Well, he kind of done both the winning and the losing. So then the third one comes out. You have to give him a whole new storyline. You can't just have him doing the Rocky versus Creed again. You have to go another way. You have to have him have a different type of challenge. So you put a mountain in front of him that's like, I can't fucking climb this mountain. But you're pulling for him at the end of it. And they probably milked it out for too long. I think there's like 6 of them, right? Including the one that they remade with him in the early 2000s.
7, I believe, and then there's 2 Creed movies now, or
Yeah, there's 3
3.
Creeds. And even
Yeah.
in the Creed one, right? So the Creed one was kind of the same premise. He comes out, he fights this guy. He literally is only doing it because he has a last name, so it'll be good on his resume for the other guy. And he loses. He comes up short, but he does so good in it that it's like, damn, bro, like I really wanted to see him win that. So the second movie he comes out, he's a lot better. He's winning all his fights, etc., etc. I can't remember what the issue was in the second movie. Who like the big bad was from the second one. It was the Drago's son. It was Drago's kid. That was the insurmountable mountain. Like this guy that's probably gonna kill you. You gotta. This might not be the guy you want to go up against. And he's like, fuck that. I don't care. So now you have another story where it's like, okay, here's the first problem we had was him not having experience. He didn't want to. He didn't really love the sport. Now he's got to the point where he didn't have character or anything like that. He now has a character. We see the character in him. He's never say die, and he found this love for boxing. The second movie, now he's in the sport, and there's this mountain he has to climb. Like there's this thing he's never faced before that nobody can defeat. He climbs that mountain. The third movie, he's on a decline. He's not the guy he used to be, and there's this guy from his history that knows him very well, and it's like now he has to break another barrier of, can I move the clock backwards? Can I go back to who I used to be? And can I get past this hurdle from who I was? Like, can I get over that? That's 3 movies that they changed this guy's character over and over and over. They changed who he was, but it's the same guy. It's just changing his character and changing the obstacles in front of him. You stay creative by doing that. Change the obstacles, change the character. Don't change the game. Change the characters inside of it. Change the game that we're playing instead of the game's name. You feel me?
Yeah, but how do you how do I understand the thought process behind it, but how do you do that?
That's just what it is. You just
No,
change the characters. Like you change the story. I give the story. Like I don't. My thing isn't to think of like I don't go on TikTok and look at, oh, this is good. Like let me put this on another TikTok. Like I don't take inspiration from other. That's a lie. I took inspiration from Diaz in terms of the aesthetically pleasing part. And I told him about that, like the camera work. That's something that I took inspiration from him a long time ago, which is why that shift started happening from just taking live stream clips and shit like that and putting it on there versus actually taking time to edit a video. Once I did that, it was about what have people not seen, like in this WWE scene. And by the time this comes out, it'll already be out, so I can say it. My WWE Olympics video that's about to come out, that's something that I can guarantee you won't find anywhere else. And it's not like I went around searching like, oh, let me see if people have done this. I just knew it hadn't been done. The Undertaker casket match video, of course people are gonna make casket match videos, but what's the challenge behind it? Like I take the things that are out there, like breaking the ring. People do that all the time. What's the challenge behind it? I want to give a result and give me a storyline to get there. Give me a challenge to get there. I can say that freely because I know nobody else is going to be able to do it. Like I've seen people try to copy my content and it doesn't work out for them because they're too busy trying. They think they know what they're doing, but they don't. So they'll just try to copy something that I did, even go so far as to put a belt on their shoulder and think that that's going to work. It's not, because you don't know what you're doing. You're just trying to copy, whereas I know exactly what I'm doing. Um, I'm just going to keep giving them stories, and people are going to keep enjoying the content that I give them because I take the time to actually care about what I'm putting out rather than just caring about, oh, is this video going to get me enough views for the month? So that's how I stay creative. I stay creative because I care about the story. I'm going to keep caring about the story to get to the finish line rather than how many views this video is going to get if I post it. And I'm never going to woo ride either. I'm not just going to go to somebody like, I'm not going to go and make a video about John Cena because he returned. Like, I'm not going to do that. I might say that I'm doing it because of, like in the Gunther video, I said I was trying to do it because of the King of the Ring. That was like, what, 2 weeks ago? Like, there was no way I was doing that at that time. I just did that because I wanted a reason to use Gunther. Um, So I'm not gonna woo ride. I'm not just gonna do something because it's popular. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna. I think I said this last time. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna do it as best as I can to make sure that I maximize the story,
Yeah,
because that's
nah,
all that matters. The story.
yeah, it's working for you too. And thank you for that explanation. That's what I was looking for. And now you said that people even go as far as like putting a belt on their shoulder and think it's gonna work. See, I'm eventually gonna have a belt on my shoulder too, but it's gonna be that one that you see right there after I beat your ass in a steel cage match. Um, now now real quick because I have this in my notes. Last time we were here, it was right before WrestleMania, and I asked you if Cody finished the story, and you were like, "Nah, Cody's not finishing the story." Like,
You listen and you listen. You listen very good. You listen very good, buddy. I despise you and everything you stand for. All right. I despise you. I despise all of the people around you. I despise anybody that has ever wished good on you. I despise all of them. You understand me? And I hope nothing but the worst for you and everybody else that was happy that that happened. I hope that all of you
whoa.
like wake up and stub your toes in the morning, every morning for the next 3 years, and you just can't figure out a way to stop it. Like you're afraid to get out of bed because you might stub your toe, and even then, while you're sitting in the bed, you still find a way to stub your toe. I hope that happens to all of you.
Yeah, pal. Guess what? Your boy's cooked. Solo's the new tribal chief.
Solo, kind of, but that'll be fixed pretty soon. I
So
can't wait to watch Cody Rhodes get fucking chopped to death by fucking Gunther or somebody.
no, I don't think that'll be next. This comes out after Clash at the Castle, so I think he ends up beating AJ there, and he goes on to like another feud. I don't think it'll be Gunther. I think Gunther's gonna go after the other belt.
Yeah, he's going after the world heavyweight, but
Yeah.
eventually somebody's got to beat Cody, and I think it'll be Gunther.
Um.
Personally.
However, going back to content real quick, I actually don't have this in my notes, but we had talked about it earlier off camera for a little bit, and I tried to save it for here. You only stream and make content for TikTok. And prior to that, it was kind of just YouTube, and then you had like completely done a switch to TikTok. Why don't you do both or three or like all of the platforms? Or is it like a timing thing? Like I've talked to different creators, and like I've talked to iGame you watch about it, and he was kind of like, I do well enough with TikTok to the point where like if I'm in the mood I'll like post here and there. And then I've talked to Roy about it, and Roy was like, I go everywhere. Like that's just what I've always done. That's what got me here. And then I've talked to even like Marshall, and Marshall was like, I was born and raised on YouTube. Like, why would I go elsewhere? So like, what are kind of like your opinions on that? Why haven't you like done multi? And I even know some Toon Squad members do it. Like, I'm pretty sure Prize on TikTok and YouTube,
Yeah.
and Jay's on everything, and
Yeah. Um. To put it very simply, it's almost a term of laziness because I easily could go on to Twitch. It's a comfortability thing where it's like I'm so comfortable on TikTok. YouTube, I had success. It's not a numbers thing or anything like that. I could easily go back over there and start posting, and the numbers would still be there. Um, with WWE, it's a little harder because the videos would be longer, and people don't really care about the matches. They just care more so about winning. So it's kind of hard to have like a theatrical match um, in a whole YouTube video, but it's possible. But I really think that it's just a complacency. I'm so comfortable on TikTok that I just don't really feel the need to move over. And even when people, oh, TikTok's getting banned, what are you gonna do? I'll move. Obviously, I'm gonna move over somewhere else, and of course, the people that really fuck with me are gonna move with me, and we'll just start there. I mean, I'm not gonna wait until TikTok is gone, obviously, to move over somewhere else. I did plan on starting to stream on Twitch, but when I start streaming on Twitch, it won't be the same. I'm not gonna multi-stream my TikToks and Twitch at the same time. I'll probably just stream on Twitch and do something completely different. Which what I wanted to do was just chill, go on Twitch, chill out, react, take this off, because this is the whole persona that everybody thinks is like a character and something like that. So I'll take this off, and instead of it being Wulfpaq, it'll be DJ, and I'll just chill with the people that are in my community. And if I somehow end up getting bigger off of Twitch, then I'll stick around Twitch and keep loving it up over there. I'll play games and stuff, obviously, but on TikTok right now, I'm comfortable. I'm doing the WWE thing. Eventually, that'll switch, and I'll do something else. When I'm on Twitch, who knows? I might start streaming on Twitch this week. You never know. You just gotta follow me, sub up, and all that stuff. However that works, and eventually, I will be on Twitch. YouTube, however, I don't know if there's a chance for me to ever go back to YouTube. Of course, at some point I'll make YouTube videos, probably like vlogs of me traveling or something like that. I do want to start doing IRL wrestling content. Like, I would love to have Top Dollar Chokeslam me instead of BDE or something like that. If any of you guys are out there that need a quick jobber, I'm here. If you need somebody to go in there and get clothesline from hell or something like that, I'm your guy. What are you doing?
I'm gonna come take that belt off you. That's what I'm doing. I'm stretching, I'm stretching, I listen. If there's one thing I'll take from Tony Khan, it's having the older guys take away the aura of the younger talent. And I'll do that all day long. Now, so like you said your Twitch content would be like completely different and stuff like that. Do you ever see yourself, why not multi-streaming? Why wouldn't you? Do you think that do you not think it would do good like on YouTube and Twitch if you're playing WWE, or like is that the problem really, or are numbers not a thing?
I know that I could do good on all three in terms of WWE streams. It's just, what's the reason for somebody to go to my Twitch if I'm doing the exact same thing? Like, of course they could get like the full picture of the match, but if I'm doing the same thing on both, what would be the reason? It'd be like, if, to put it into a good, when WWE, I don't know if you were watching around this time, when they got rid of the brand split and it was basically like the same show, just Monday and Friday. It's like, yeah, that's good, We're gonna get WWE on 2 days, but there's no difference. Like, I could miss Friday Night SmackDown, just watch Raw. It'll be the same show. I'll just get updated. It's nothing different. I'm not really missing anything. It's not like I have to wait a week to find out. I'll just wait till Monday Night Raw. That's a few days. For me, I want to have a reason for you to watch separate things. For YouTube, it would be for the longer videos. But the difference between YouTube and TikTok is clear. One's just longer videos and the format of the live streams and whatnot. And the difference between Twitch and TikTok is not much. Like TikTok, you can post your videos, but you're still streaming on both. And for me to stream on both, I need to have a reason for somebody, other than wanting to see the full screen. I need to have a reason for them to want to go over there and watch me. And I don't want to be Wulfpaq on Twitch. I don't want to be playing video games and high energy and trying to, like, people genuinely think that that's how I always am. And it's not like it's a fake me or a persona or anything like that. I just give the amount of energy needed for a TikTok stream. That's what I do, which is why after my TikTok streams, if you know me, I probably am gonna go to sleep because I expel a lot of energy on my TikTok streams. I give as much as I can to my TikTok streams to pay attention, respond as much as possible, etc., etc. Keep people interested. I don't like downtime on TikTok, so I just go. It's 3 hours, 6 hours, just go time all the way through, full sprint. So for Twitch, it would be taking that energy away, and you would see who I am, if you knew me in person, like outside of this, in person, I do not talk. Like I don't. I just don't find a reason to. I don't like speaking in person. Like when I'm on here, it's a different thing because in order to communicate, obviously you have to speak, and I'm very well versed in my opinion. But in person, I don't talk that much. I don't get loud at all. I don't like yelling or nothing like that. Um, I just be chilling, you know. So like, if I could bring that onto a stream, if I could bring DJ onto a stream, and I could chill out with everybody on Twitch and just have the people that really fuck with me over there. And that's the thing, I don't really care about the numbers. I want people over there that really fuck with me. I want like if people see me and they're like, I would like to chill with that guy. I would like to have that guy like on the couch while playing SmackDown versus Raw 2007 type shit. Like that's the kind of people I want on Twitch. On TikTok, it's more about the numbers, you know, getting your face out there and all that. But Twitch, it would just be it would be DJ versus Wulfpaq. That's what it would be. This has to come off in that process, though. I can't wear this for a Twitch stream where I'm
All
just
right.
sitting there for 3 hours.
All right, I have two questions to come off of all of that. The first one, which is just a yes or no answer, does the belt hurt? Like having the belt on your shoulder all the time?
No,
You lie to me?
it can.
Okay.
To explain that, it's not really yes or no. It's a no, but it can. It can, which is why you'll see me reposition it sometimes because sometimes, like, it'll just be sitting here for a while, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
fucking you can't see from the camera, but there's this piece of it that sticks out, like it pokes out. So it'll just be sitting on my shoulder, like it'll just be stuck here. And like I try to make it so that it's like good, like it's sitting comfortable like it is now, but sometimes it'll just move around and then it's just poking into my shoulder. And then it'll get a little tiresome. On top of that, the strap is like pulling down on your shoulder, so you kind of got to make sure that it's one of those weird things. It can start to hurt, but then you just reposition it. But by the time your shoulder starts hurting, it's over. Like there's no going back. So that's when the stream starts, you know. Once that shoulder starts hurting, the stream's almost over. So that's how I gauge it, you know. It doesn't hurt. People ask me all the time, how the fuck do you keep it on your shoulder throughout the entire stream? It just sits here comfortably while I play the game. Like it's not like I'm just holding it like this and playing the game with one hand. It's like, no, it just sits comfortably here. I'm in a chair, so it sits comfortably and I play the game like this. It's not that hard.
Now, so you talk about good answer. So you talk about explaining I'm sorry, you talk about splitting up the streams, the different streams between Twitch and TikTok and still posting the TikToks and possibly using YouTube to do longer videos. That is a lot of different things and how do you kind of plan on like placing your time properly so you can do everything daily or every other day, however you're gonna do the streams and post the content and still like be able to have like downtime because like as a content creator that's constantly going 100%, you know, I still need like a couple hours a week to just like do me, or whether that be like jiu-jitsu or whatever, like, you know, how do you kind of see yourself doing that, like going through that, dealing with it, you know?
I don't. Um, I really don't schedule or anything like that. Like even with my TikToks, I post them when I want. I go live when I want. I've always told people this. Every time I'm asked about it, I will say it to the end of days. If I ever start to look at this as a job, I'm done. I will never look at content creation as a job. I will dead ass quit. Like I'll delete my pages and all that before I ever look at this as a job. It is always a privilege and a hobby to me to be able to do this and to earn money from it and all that. And no matter what level I reach, because I know I'll be up there eventually with those bigger names. No matter what level I reach, I will never look at this as a job. It will 100% always be a hobby. A hobby that whether or not it's done great for me, you know, it's taken up the bill money, you know. I've been able to spend a lot more on myself recently since WWE came out. Been able to take care of my dukes and all that, you know. I've been living good. So, um, it's good. It's a great hobby. It makes me a lot, obviously. I meet a lot of great people. Bag of Munchies is one of my top mods. It's like my right hand man right there. a bunch of the people that I've met in the community. I'm not gonna say everybody's name, obviously, because I've met a lot of them. There are a lot of great people in the pack, but it's like I will never look at this as like if I schedule it and I have to stick to this schedule and I gotta grind relentlessly. I'm basically just working a 9 to 5. I might as well go clock in.
Well, are you already full time in
No,
content?
funny part about that, right? I
Okay.
could have went full time. I could have done it. That like when WWE came out, it was so good. It still is so good right now. To the point like I've had people like companies hit me up for sponsorship deals and things like that, and it's going great. But I want to focus on having a future in, for instance, I don't ever put 100% behind, like, I don't put my eggs in one basket. For instance, if this shit disappears tomorrow, let's say I get banned on all platforms, what do I have to myself, right? Like, I don't want to ever have all this shit disappear and just be stuck. Like, what am I going to do now? So I focus on myself outside of this, where I put myself in great positions. So I have to work outside of this. Like I have to do things. I have to make money outside of this. I have to give myself a career, which is why I go to school and I go and work these jobs outside of where I'm living, and I go all these places. I travel a lot. Like most of the time when you contact me, I'll be in the car because I travel a lot. I have to keep working. I have to go. I have to go. I have to like I'm not good. Like I said complacency earlier, but I'm not good with just sitting around. I'm not good with not having. Like I have to have. So I keep moving, I keep doing, and I keep building. So I could have went full time. Um, it wouldn't have been full time as in like, oh, I'm gonna fucking I'm paying all. It would have been a struggling full time where I'm paying all my bills and I got some left over, but I'm not making enough money to where I want to. I'm not nearly that level where I can just make enough money per month to just sit down, just chill. I'm not Duke Dennis. I'm not Kai. I'm not Aiden. But I was making good enough money to pay my bills, and I still am making enough money to pay my bills. It's just like, again, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. Once I get to a level of like making all that money, maybe I'll put everything else to the side. But even then, I'll be like you said with Tony Khan and all that. Like I eventually want to go work with the WWE, and I eventually want to go work with 2K, and I eventually one of these days this company is gonna hit me up. I can't even tell if it's in the camera or not, but one of these days that company's gonna hit me up. That's the ultimate goal, is to have that company on my side and being able to promo them. Once I get that, that is when I will officially decide that this is full time. Crocs.
Crocs, hit me up. Hit
Hey,
me up, Crocs. Hit me
my
up,
my
baby.
dream is to have Mountain Dew sponsor me. Once I get that, I've done it. I've gotten to where I want to be.
And
I'll completely
my
put all my eggs in this
my
basket.
my dream sponsors are like, see, I need like a massive bong company to sponsor me. And then everybody wants a shoe deal. I want a Crocs deal. Give me a Crocs deal. I'm solid. They ain't even gotta
That's
pay
fair.
me money. They ain't even gotta pay me a lot. Just give me a deal and like let me give Crocs away. Like just that's all I want, right? Just swaggy
That's
Crocs.
fair.
And and then like for a bev, like definitely Mountain Dew is like fire, but like it's gotta be like I need my own flavor and like that. But like I take my own flavor in anything, like
The
some
swagberry.
swaggy juice.
How do you think you would taste?
All right, so that's another thing I want to dive into because earlier you had a sus tweet about the
That didn't
tune.
happen.
Yeah, no, it did, and I'm kind of mad you're making me pull it up because like I thought you were just you'd be you just talk about it, but now I have to read it quote by quote, and this is the worst part. This is the I can't find it, but you had a sus tweet. You had a sus tweet earlier. It was a sus quote tweet. It was
It
really
wasn't
bad.
my tweet. Okay, I'll explain it. All right. So Travis Kelsey said, and I quote, "Wear and tear me, baby. I'm ready for it, man. Put the load on me."
That's the
I was just
worst.
letting the world know that that is how people in Toon Squad talk to each other. Not me. I don't do that. That's how they talk to each other. I stay out of that because it might be Pride Month. I don't participate. I respect them, love to them. But I'm not in that community. Whereas other members of Toon Squad may be. I don't know. I don't want to judge them, so I just allow them to do them. If you are, more power to you, Priox. I mean, buddies. Like I got a lot of love for y'all, but yeah, it's just I don't do it. I just wanted to let the world know that like they might have a chance with the other members in Toon Squad.
All right, so that's crazy. Last thing I want to talk about, you mentioned it earlier, the TikTok ban. I want to talk about the TikTok ban. So you mentioned the TikTok ban. It's a very big possibility that TikTok gets banned. What like kind of things? What kind of protocols are you gonna take? Like especially as we get closer to like the announcement and like have you already started taking them? Like what's going on with all that? Do you know anything
No.
that like we may not know or
I know that TikTok won't go anywhere. It might get banned, but it just gets rebranded. It gets rebranded, and it's very hard to explain because people will just hear me saying it and they're like, "Ah, he has no idea what he's talking about." Which, on a certain level, I don't, but I know vaguely what I'm talking about, and I know that no matter what happens to it, it'll be around in some asset in some form. And even if it wasn't, I wouldn't care because it's not like TikTok made me. I made myself on TikTok. So, um, I do have a lot of love for TikTok because again, that was the platform that I did make myself on, and it was very kind to me. But I've always believed in myself no matter where I was. So I don't care where I go. It's gonna be the same me, and I'll be able to pull those same people in that I've always been able to pull in. And if the users are there, if the viewers are there on any app, I'm gonna get them. If they're there to be had, I'll have them. That's as simple as I can put it. So I don't have any protocol. I'm not panicking. I'm not worried about it at all. I don't even know when it's supposed to be banned. And it doesn't matter to me, because I'm gonna keep being Wulfpaq no matter where we go.
I haven't heard anything about it in a minute. I just know they were working on the bill and whatnot.
It'll probably get passed, but this is where the politics come into play, and I don't want to get political because I don't know anything about how you feel about it. But to stay off of the politics on your channel, um, it would be very dumb for a person with a campaign coming up or an election coming up to make a decision to ban TikTok when most of the people that will be voting this year are 18 to I'd say around mid 30s. And who do you think majority of USA TikTok users are? That'd be a very stupid move. Now I'm not saying that they won't make it. I'm just saying it'd be dumb. You know?
Yeah, no, 110%. That could be definitely something used to kind of like just persuade the younger crowd. However, shit, we're about to hit like 45 minutes on the episode. It's been great talking to you again. Thank you for coming by on the Swagcast once again. Do you have anything you want to shout out? Tell people to go follow your Twitch channel, whatever. Just tell them where to find everything.
You go on my TikTok, you'll find everything, man. Go to my TikTok at Wulfpaq. You'll see it under me. That's how you spell it. Find me on there. My link tree in my bio on TikTok has all my other social medias and all that you want to find me on, Twitch included. Yeah, the only thing I want to shout out is that, they said I'd never be 10%. Now I'm 110%.
One more thing before we go. Roman Reigns. Now you got mad about it earlier.
Oh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. I can't. Swaggy, I can't hear you.
You got mad about it earlier. What do you think he comes
ears.
back? Do you think it's
Swaggy.
cooked? Is it over?
You're breaking up, Swaggy. I can't